All right. Bungie's lead community manager has just issued an apology for a poorly worded response to the dawning event of 2024, or as it's called, the dawning disaster, or maybe you call it the dawning dumpster fire of 2024, all of which are accurate titles for the event. Now, we're going to get into their apology in just a moment. First, we're going to talk about the article that details exactly what happened and why the community got extremely upset over this response. They gave a one-word response to all the stuff that's going on. We have Destiny 2 is not in the fittest of shapes right now. The game used to be absolutely beloved with players eager to come back on a daily basis. But right now, D2 has really let itself go, with the community becoming even more exasperated every day. It's been pretty torrid towards the end of the year, and players have become ticked off by Destiny 2 developers' one-word response to complaints over the dawning event. While 2024 has been fairly abysmal, Bungie has outlined the 2025 roadmap with events and occasions for players to anticipate. It all kickstarts with Revenant Act 3 on January 7th. Then shortly after, there will be an update full of several big buffs and nerfs. We cannot wait for Revenant Act 3 to begin. As of right now, D2 feels dead though. The dawning event hasn't been very good, and the Destiny community has been venting their frustrations online. Here we go, we're jumping right into it. On the Destiny of the Game subreddit, we have Bridges here created a post saying the dawning event discourages me from playing the seasonal activities. The original post elaborated, I get way more essence of dawning and gifts and returns from Vanguard or Gambit playlists than I do from Onslaught or Tomb of Elders. Tomb is particularly stingy. This seems odd, which is a completely fair criticism considering those are the newer activities. We should probably push people into playing those over the old activities that have already been played for thousands and thousands of times, especially if you're a regular player of the game. A lot of the replies agreed with the original post. Some of the most upvoted replies include the dawning event discouraged me from playing the entire game, which is based. We got while another, the dawning discourages players from doing any activity. Also true. Bungie's global community lead DMG04 responded with the simple message, heard. Unfortunately, this was responded to with lots of frustration from players. That one-word response, they got negative 40 upvotes and 56 replies overall, so people on Reddit were angry about this very short response, right? It comes across as insincere, right? When people create these lengthy posts kind of detailing things that they have issues with and giving, fair feedback and criticism. They're not saying things like, Bungie is a terrible company and we need to fire everyone over there and, like people say crazy stuff, F Pete Parsons, right? Like they're not saying anything that crazy, right? They're just giving actual good criticism. So to just be like, yep, is not especially the best response. One user told the global community lead that it doesn't matter now as the event is wrapping up. This has been a common complaint for years, which is fair because the dawning has been around for many years and it got worse this year. And honestly, even if it didn't get worse this year with the bugs, it doesn't really change that much as an event. Anyway, it seems kind of like a copy and paste thing that Bungie spits out every Christmas season. Another user lamented, don't worry, they won't have it fixed for next year either, which is so funny. Oh my God, that is actually a really good prediction. Will they say heard to this feedback and then literally shit out the same dawning event next year without that being fixed? I would be willing to bet money that that's the case. If not that, then dawning just gets canceled altogether. It's one or the other, in my opinion. A third user asked, if our complaints are actually heard, this is because Bungie has delivered the same event again with the same bugs that's led us to the same complaints. Rough. Lastly, users were not thrilled with the response being one word. Replies included comments such as, classic Bungie, maximum effort, even in staff responses. Oof, they're really taking out on him. And this comment is a great representation of how shitty the leadership and community representatives are at Bungie. Wow. Okay. Before we get into that I feel like is a little too far, right? That's where we're starting to get into like just mean-spirited stuff, which I get it if you're frustrated by this type of response, but we should also take in note that, this is during DMG's off time, like it's meant to be his vacation time, and he's trying to, give some feedback and give some responses. So he might be abbreviated for that purpose. Like he's probably not even on the clock or anything. Like he's just doing this because he wants to be a good community manager and actually like respond to things, which is something that I've previously applauded DMG for. He tends to get down in the dirty, like he tends to actually get involved in these issues even though it often backfires for him because, you know, people aren't especially rational on Reddit. You know, people are just posting crazy things and they're quick to jump to, you know, angry conclusions and stuff like that. So vacation is one thing to mention. And on top of that, the event in general is obviously very close to a holiday. So a lot of Bungie staff are going to be off during that period of time, as they don't do the TWID and they don't do, you know, there's not a lot of new, they just kind of give you the Dawning event and it is what it is. So the Dawning event being a massive disaster this year is in part due to the fact that this is meant to be the time when Bungie gets kind of a break throughout the year because this is the holiday season. So it kind of created a perfect storm, a perfect shitstorm of a disaster, which is why it turned into the Dawning dumpster fire, as we've called it many times before. And you can kind of see where this all came from, right? It didn't just happen from nowhere. Like, it is a very unfortunate circumstance, but it did happen. And hopefully Dawning next year is either better or maybe just replaced with something altogether. Very clear that players have not been happy with the Dawning event. The good news is that it ends December 31st. The bad news is that its removal basically results in a dead week until the start of Revenant Act 3, which is where we're at right now. And that is definitely the case. It's definitely a very dead week right now, currently in Destiny 2, and but hopefully Act 3 will breathe a little bit of life, and obviously there's a new exotic quest coming and things like that. Let me know what you think about the one-word response from Bungie's community manager and all the different criticisms that were given from this. And that's a wrap on this news story. I am currently traveling, so I am in a hotel here in Texas, and that's why I'm not in my usual setup, but I'll keep you up to date on all the news in Destiny 2, even as I travel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.